Welcome to Movie Slice. Quick fun recaps of your favorite movies. Sharp, funny, and to the point. Hit subscribe and get your perfect slice of cinema. The movie Attack on Titans. Part 1 begins with Armin and Mikasa finding Eren near a deactivated missile in the agricultural fields. The three are inseparable best friends. Eren had just been fired from yet another job and is fed up with everything. They stayed there thinking about what lies beyond the walls. Mikasa asks if that bird has ever seen the vastness of the ocean, and Eren asks if she'd like to see over the wall. The three sneak forward among the debris to try to get close to the wall, but the army troops are everywhere. With caution, they get very close to the immense wall. Mikasa seemed to have a cold, so Eren gives her his red scarf and wants, at all costs, to climb the walls, even though Armin is against it. But as soon as Eren touches the wall, several soldiers come running towards them. In an attempt to arrest them, Eren ends up fighting some, and almost gets shot for rebelling. They are saved by Captain Suda, who orders the soldiers to leave the kids alone. Suda is a friend of Eren's family, and says that he also liked to explore the walls as a child, even though it was forbidden. He tells the three youths that the army will conduct a new exploration outside the walls after a long time. It will be a new mission to conquer territory. He hopes they can live in peace wherever they want. However, a huge tremor suddenly appears. Something seems to be violently hitting the wall, and from behind it emerges a colossal being of unimaginable size, much larger than the wall. It begins kicking the base of the wall to bring it down. The youths and the captain have to run for cover as huge debris flies everywhere. Even with the captain ordering cannon attacks, it is inevitable. The wall will collapse. Inexplicably, the Supreme Colossus disappears in its smoke, but the opening in the wall remains, and so falls the third outer wall of the Munson district. The Titans begin to invade through the breach. The troops try to fire missiles directly at the Titans and manage to bring them down, but it is all in vain. They rise up fully regenerated, and the massacre is brutal and bloody. The soldiers are slaughtered by the Titans in the worst possible ways. Some prefer to shoot themselves to spare themselves the terror. The three friends head towards the village to escape the horde of Titans advancing on. Chaos takes over the streets. People are crushed, eaten, and torn apart everywhere. Armin gets lost in the crowd. Amidst the confusion, Mikasa sees a mother crying with her baby and goes back to help. Eren is desperate, being pushed by the crowd, and ends up trapped inside a temple, separated from Mikasa, who is left alone and exposed with the baby in her arms. He tries everything to get out and save her, but the rest of the group prevents him from opening the door. Then, a Titan captures Mikasa and the baby. Eren can't believe it and forces his way out of the temple. The Titans tear off the roof of the place and devour absolutely everyone inside. A terrible bloodbath. Eren finds himself lost in the chaos, with only debris and body parts everywhere. Well, 2 years have passed since the fall of the third wall. The agricultural region was abandoned after the Titans' invasion, and everyone retreated behind the middle wall in the commercial zone. Armin and Eren are alive, and now part of the army's reconnaissance division. The troop director Kubal says everyone is ready and trained for the mission to restore the wall, and for this, they will use the equipment created by Engineer and Commander Hang. She presents the amplified mobility equipment. Well, even if it seems a bit disastrous, it will be essential for the fight against the Titans. Commander Hang says that this unit will join Captain Shikishima's reconnaissance team further ahead, and at dusk, they will set out on the mission to reclaim the outer wall. Hours before departure, the moment is very sad, as families say goodbye to the soldiers through the isolation bars. The time has come to leave. The troops gather in the transport trucks near the gate of the middle wall. The captain orders everyone to speak quiet, as even though the Titans sleep at night, they react to the sound of human voices, so every precaution is necessary. The gates open and the trucks move towards the area taken by the Titans. They travel among the debris for a long way, but the captain seems to see something blocking the pass and orders everyone to stop, signaling the troops to check the perimeter. There is nothing unusual in the area, just some cows grazing nearby. Maybe that was the movement the captain saw. However, Soldier Hyana hears a baby crying and says she needs to check what it is. It seems to be a child left behind, and she goes alone into the darkness towards the crying. Eren follows her out of concern, even knowing it's a terrible idea. While searching inside the rubble from a building where the noise of the baby was coming from, a disgusting slime falls on Hyana, and then we can see the Titan baby high above them. As if that wasn't enough, it falls from above and starts screaming and thrashing, causing a deafening sound wave. This will attract several Titans from all sides. Eren and Hyana need to run back, but it's already too late. The squad is quickly surprised by Titans. The captain is the first to be devoured. The trucks leave part of the team behind, and now they try to flee toward the abandoned buildings. Armin falls along the way, and a crawling Titan comes toward him, but is stopped by Sanagi, who grabs the giant monster's arm and deflects its blow. The team keeps running, and almost reaching the buildings, they come face to face with another Titan right in front of them. A soldier emerges from the darkness, Firing his anchor into the walls and flying with the omnidirectional mobile, he quickly uses his swords to slice the Titan's nape. That's the only way to defeat them. A precise and fatal strike. However, it's not over yet. Another Titan comes running over the buildings, and another mysterious soldier appears using the propulsion gear, quickly slicing another Titan. There was no doubt. It was Mikasa. She was still alive, serving on Captain Shikishima's team. Eren really seemed not to believe it. Many were wounded and killed in the last attack. Now gathered in one of the army's hideouts, Captain Shikishima and the general director go to the bunker that stored all the explosives for the mission. It was time to load them onto the trucks. Eren has a conversation with the captain. He asks if the young man wishes to become as skilled in combat as he is, and to do so, he doesn't need to hate the Titans, but to hate fear, to fly toward freedom, ceasing to be just cattle trapped in the pen, protected from the wolves. Now Eren finally has his conversation with Mikasa. After years, she is completely changed, with hatred in her eyes. Eren says he's happy to see her, and she quickly warns him. That day years ago, Mikasa was brutally attacked by bites from that Titan, and the baby was devoured. Her only goal is to destroy every monster that crosses her path. After being interrupted by the captain again, in a bizarre scene of him giving Mikasa an apple to bite, Eren freaks out and starts yelling outside, but is interrupted by Hyana, who immediately scolds him. After all that noise would attract a massive horde of Titans. Well, the two start talking about the loss of family members, and things start to heat up a bit. She wanted Eren to be the father of her daughter. Yeah, but he didn't have much time to think about it. A bizarre eye appeared behind them. It was a Titan lurking. Eren freezes. The monster sticks its hand into the building and grabs Hyana, who is swallowed alive by the Titan. A new horde of giants was arriving among the buildings. Everyone starts using the propulsion gear to escape and engage in combat. Director Kubal orders that the priority is the protection of the explosives. Mikasa and Captain Shikishima quickly destroy several Titans. Sanagi uses his axe to cut the Titan's heels and bring it down. Many soldiers are being captured in the midst of the chaos, and Captain Hang then notices that the explosives truck is being stolen by a strange hooded figure. A soldier named Lil, who lost her boyfriend in combat at that very moment, is crazed and throws a firebomb at the truck, climbs onto its roof, and quickly manages to take the wheel from the hooded thief. She keeps fighting the man until she finally knocks him out, but instead of stopping the truck, she wants to avenge her boyfriend's death. She doesn't obey the squad's orders and heads toward the Titans at full speed, overturning the truck, blowing everything up, and wasting the only explosives left. Now they are lost, surrounded by a horde of Titans, and without the explosives for the mission. Eren is trapped with Jean on the rooftop of a building and wants to advance on the Titan. Convinced by Captain Shikishima's words, he then uses his propulsion gear and flies toward the horde. One of the Titans hits his swords with its hand, shattering them in the air. The captain tells him that he must not fear them, so he can keep flying toward the monsters. Eren manages to dodge several attacks and graze the nape of one of the Titans, but he still needs to finish it off. He flies again with the hooks and hits the Titan's critical point. He finally destroyed the damned creature, but his movement was miscalculated, and he ended up heading straight into the mouth of another Titan, which bit off his leg, throwing Eren hundreds of meters away. The damned captain just mocked Eren and turned his back. The team of survivors realizes that Jean is still trapped and surrounded by several Titans, so Armin comes up with a plan. Captain Hang fires a flare to attract them. Sasha uses her specialty with bow and arrow to hit the bearded Titan right in the eye. Sanagi grabs his axe and cuts the monster's ankles. Jean is then able to move and finishes off the Titan by slicing its nape. The squad advances and Armin asks Jean where Eren is, and he says he's somewhere dead on top of the buildings. In shock at that information, with a second's distraction, Armin is captured by the same Titan that Lil crashed the explosives truck into. The monster was intact and even thirstier for blood. Eren sees that Armin is almost being eaten by the Titan. Sasha tries to shoot several arrows at the giant, but it doesn't even tickle. Sanagi tries the axe strategy, but he can't make a deep cut. The Titan regenerates instantly. Jean advances towards its head, and his sword breaks as it penetrates the monster's skin. This Titan seemed invincible. It is absurdly stronger than the others. Armin was already slipping down the monster's tongue when he was saved by Eren, who used his last strength to save his friend. However, Eren had his arm cut off and was swallowed alive, sliding down the esophagus of that grotesque thing and falling straight into its stomach. Eren finds Hyana inside, but she is already dead and being dissolved by the monster's gastric acid. The squad didn't know what to do anymore, or if it was still possible to escape from that horde of Titans. They were being surrounded more and more. Armin shows Mikasa Eren's severed arm. It was all that was left of. She said they needed to keep fighting, that killing those damned monsters was all that was left. She soars through the air, slashing another Titan, but soon her propulsion fuel runs out. This causes Mikasa to plummet to the ground during her flight. The most brutal Titan so far appears in front of her, but something was wrong. It seemed to be suffering from something internally, and the Titan suddenly explodes into thousands of pieces, releasing a wave of energy and revealing a completely different Titan. With long hair and red eyes, this Titan comes out punching the other monsters along the way, stomping on their heads. The squad realizes that the regeneration speed of this new Titan is unreal, and it then engages in a deadly battle against all the Titans surrounding it. Captain Hang is thrilled to see all that destruction caused by a Titan on their side. He wiped out all the monsters around him, and Suda noticed. Without a doubt, that was Soldier Eren, completely enraged. Eren picks up Mikasa in his hand, but soon collapses, releasing extremely hot steam. The Titan was down. Suda tells them to open the Titan's nape without damaging the inside, before the cells are absorbed. Mikasa climbs on top of him and makes a precise cut in his nape, revealing a slimy cocoon. There was Eren, regenerated and alive. Attack on Titan Part 1 ends here. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all new updates. See you in the next video. Goodbye.